My name is Jørgen Abildgaard. I'm the project director for climate change in the city of Copenhagen. We have the goal to be carbon neutral in 2025 and have set up a plan for that 2 years ago. So we have a precise plan for how to become carbon neutral in 25. And that's also have been the topic that I speak about here in Vancouver until now. And we are also part of this city challenge that WWF have challenged us. So that's part of the game too. First of all, maybe not that much on climate change, but if we're going to change and have a more sustainable cities and communities, it is extremely important that we are better in creating partnerships. Because as a city, we can do quite a lot, but what we are going to do is only a small amount of the whole investments in a city or a community, and we have to involve with investors, with stakeholders, with companies, universities, and of course with citizens in making this transformation. And that is really key for the process. Without that, so forget everything about become carbon neutral in 2025. We have to set up partnerships, involve companies and universities in our projects. We can see a lot of projects where we have some kind of role, either as investor, but we can also have to give an permission to something, or so we have a lot of roles in that process. We are also working together with a lot of developers. So in that process, we can also involve them more and take in the companies early in the process. This is when we have to build new, when we have to make a new energy plant, a plant or an incineration plant. So we have all stakeholders involved early in the process, so we are sure that they have focus on energy, on climate, on environment, on climate adaptation. That is also the case in Copenhagen. It is a catalyst, first of all. We have some regulatory framework that we can use. We have set up a vision, we have a plan, we have also great support from the City Council. So I think we have the basic here, that we have a long-term target, and that is important also for investors to know that. But we can both be an active investor, but we also have to be an active catalyst. We have a tradition in Denmark to incinerate waste, and we have done that for decades. So we have a quite strong sector on that. We incinerate more or less 100% of waste, but we have more focus now on recycling. And of course we have recycling in the process. So before we go to the incineration, and the recycling rate is around 20% now, but we want to increase that to a much higher number. Some of the things that we want to do is to take out plastic, because that's from a CO2 point of view, it's a problem. But if you take out plastic, you also take 40% of the energy value of the waste out. We want to take out organic waste, to use that for biomass, compost, but also to look into using the fibers. There's a lot of resources in fibers in organic waste, and for a lot of cities around the world where they have landfill, looking this resource way could be an opportunity to solve a lot of problems in the cities. So that is a discussion we have in Copenhagen, in Denmark, that the government and a lot of cities want to take a recycle much more. But of course it's also take a lot of the value of the incineration plant, so they have to plan in a new way. So we do not need that many incineration plants in the country in the future. But we have also discussion about import of waste from other countries. So it's a broad discussion. First of all, the discussion about waste is a discussion about sustainability, and to look much more into the resources in waste and use them. And then CO2 is one impact of incineration, but there's a lot of other impacts. So sustainability, focus on resources, reuse of resources, it's the agenda related to waste. Yeah, but I think we have been through that discussion 20, 30 years ago, where we decided to close landfill and go away from landfill at all. So, and put all waste into incineration. And of course that was a solution at that time. And that's a splendid solution in a way. But looking into the future, where you have new technologies, where it's possible to separate waste, much more, you can also take out specific resources in the waste, in the total waste amount. So from that point of view, you have new technologies that give you new possibilities to take out the specific resources in waste, and why not use them? You can see a market also in a lot of specific resources, metal, glass, paper, pulp and paper, and so on. Globe is really a fantastic opportunity, I think, to discuss with people on sustainability. And I think this sustainability discussion in North America is broader in Europe, because it's more focused on CO2 and so on. And it's more based also in cities and local communities, and that's interesting.